All right, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. This is the State Expedited Accusations calendar in the State Court of Fulton County, Georgia. I am Judge Melanie Williams, and today we will address matters for individuals who have been recently arrested, but the cases have already been formally accused and bound over to state court. All defendants, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney today. This particular proceeding is being broadcast over the internet as a live stream. It is also being recorded. That means any member of the public can log on and watch. When I ask if you understand your rights, that is what I am referring to. Those who receive a signature bond today will be reset for the notice. Those who receive a surety or a cash bond will be reset to state all purpose. Ms. Bridgewater, what is my reset date?
It is January 30th, Your Honor.
Thank you. So we will be resetting to that calendar on January 30th, where aspects of your case can be revisited or the entire case. All right. Have all public defenders and defense attorneys had the opportunity to interview their clients? I'm going to assume that's yes. Are there any other specific announcements from any members of the state or defense? Okay, hearing none, let's begin. Who do we have first?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is ACDC Officer Milton. Before
Hello,
you,
Milton.
Section 7.
All right, thank you. Give me one moment. Of course, my screen went dead right then. Okay. All right. Are you Michaela Gardner?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Your case is 24 CR 0350F. You're charged with theft by taking. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Can I have the history, Mr. Howard?
Second arrest, 2019 arrest out of Arizona. Identity theft. That appears to be open. This was level 2.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Abdullah, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Muhammad Abdullah on behalf of the state. The facts show that on October 20th of 2023, officers responded to a theft call at 124 Krog Street, which is the Salty Donut location. Upon arrival, they met with the manager, who is Cody Amos. The manager told them that he had reviewed surveillance footage and caught the defendant, who was an employee at the time, taking $200 out the cash register. Officers reviewed the video and confirmed that the defendant did, in fact, take $200 out of the cash register, ball it up, and place it into her pocket. The manager did try to contact the defendant several times, but was unable to contact her. At this time, the state is requesting a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, a stay away from the Salty Donuts location at 124 Krog Street, no further contact with the manager of the location, Cody Amos, that's C-O-D-I, Amos, A-M-I-S, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol. This recommendation is based off of the fact that the defendant does have a multi-state arrest record, including one cycle from Arizona, and that cycle also being a theft-related charge, a 2019 identity theft and forgery charge from Arizona, which is still open, which concerns the state that the defendant does have a high risk of reoffending. And those are the grounds for the recommendation. Nothing further from the state at this time.
All right, Ms. McLeod, is this your client?
No, Your Honor.
Oh,
I only have
okay, who represents this defendant? Are the public defenders on the screen?
No, ma'am.
Okay, that's not good. Are there any members of the public defender's office online?
I don't remember seeing any, Judge, when I let everybody in.
This is courtroom 2. We're sending them the Zoom link now. No one sent them the Zoom link.
Oh, okay.
Hey, you see the add-on calendar?
I was unaware of an add-on.
It just came through.
Oh, ideal. Okay.
One person that they added on.
It's only one person. He was on the pool seat though, so it's not a.
Yeah, I understand. You had a history, so that's fine. I'm at a loss. Can we do Ms. McLeod's client since she's here? We're gonna have to hold on you, Ms. Garner, because you are represented. So I can't speak to you yet without your attorney, okay? But I'll come right back to you. I already know what I'm gonna do. All right, please hold.
Okay.
Can
And
we
Judge,
take? That has
I'm sorry, Judge,
Mr.
if I
Fortis is
could,
here too. Can
hey,
we
how are you?
take Mr. Fortis's client?
I have Miss Miles. I think it's position 12 or 13.
Is Ms. Miles there? Can we do her? Are you Ms. Miles?
Yes, I am.
All right, Ms. Miles, your case is 24 CR 0000346. I'm sorry, 364H. You're charged with terroristic threats with the offense date of October the 25th. You understand your rights?
I do.
All right. All right. I have that this is her first arrest. So we'll go straight to Mr. Abdullah.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, this isn't my case.
Okay, whose case is it? Oh,
It's
Mr. Larian, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. And I'm showing that she actually has another arrest cycle from January 13th, 2024, which was while she was out on bond for this case, Your Honor. This case is alleged to have occurred on October 25th, 2023 at 2256 La Vista Court at Northeast in Atlanta. The defendant here is charged with one count of terroristic threats or acts. The victim, Mrs. Brooke Goldman Moore, that's Brook Goldman, Goldman Moore, Moore, came to the police station to advise that the defendant was sending her threatening texts and emails indicating that she would come to the victim's house and beat her up. She further indicated that she'd be watching her home if she was the victim while her and her 3-year-old were sleeping, and that she'd hate to put her daughter in that situation, indicating that that was a promise. There's also further threats to cause violence. The victim had already had a TPO against the defendant for coming to her house previously. We'd asked that since the defendant received a new charge while out on bond, that the court provide a higher bond for this defendant, especially because she's violating her TPO orders. We'd ask for a $5,000 bond, no further contact with the victim, a stay away from the aforementioned address, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a 1-day anger management course, and we asked the court to stop for the victim at this time.
I got a
I'm sorry,
question.
victim. Go ahead,
State,
Mr. Howard.
State, what you say you got a previous history?
It's actually a subsequent history for January the 13th, 2024.
So basically, when this young lady was arrested on the
I
13th,
know.
she was
I've got it.
served.
I'm aware.
talking. Thank you, sir. When she was arrested on the 13th, she was served with the warrants from October for her terroristic threats, and she received another charge, an obstruction and a false statements, which are now felony,
Okay.
associated with the felony in Superior Court.
Okay.
So our case deals with harassing and threatening that occurred starting in October the 25th and has continued into December. The victim in this case obtained an ex parte order on November the 1st and a final order on November the 22nd. She's also filed a motion for contempt because this contact, specifically on December the 16th of 2023, postings related to how the victim tried to get a TPO and it didn't work, and continued threats towards her, multiple harassment and contacts in violation of the TPO. And the defendant actually tried to get a protective order against the victim in this case on December the 20th or 21st as well, and that was denied. So we're requesting that this case actually be bound up to Superior Court, but we're working on that process right now. If you have any other questions about the back and forth, I'm here.
And Miss Allen, you good now? All right. Now, the name of the victim. Who was the victim?
Brooke Ashley Goldman Moore.
All right. I see Miss Moore on the line. Miss Moore, would you like to make a statement? If you do, I need you to raise your right hand so I can place you under oath. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, today I am not sentencing the defendant, so whether you disagree with the facts as set forth by the state or you wish to add anything, that's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in any concerns you have for your safety and your desires for contact with the defendant. In light of those instructions, what would you like to tell me?
Yes, I am very afraid for myself and the safety of myself and my child. The defendant, as you know, has come to my home and made several threats even after I had a TPO requested. I'm afraid that she will either hurt me herself or try to find someone else to hurt me, hire someone to hurt me. This has been going on for a very long time, and I am fearful for my safety.
All right, I appreciate you coming to court and making that statement. Mr. Fortis, please
Thank
proceed.
you. Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Miles is 27 years of age. She's gainfully employed. She runs her own business. In fact, that's how her and the alleged victim met in this case. The alleged victim was hired by her, and I don't want to get into particulars, but the bottom line is she tried to wreck her business. But the bottom line is there has not been any violations of the TPO since it's been in place. That's number one. Number two, since this warrant met with me, we tried to turn her into the jail not once, but twice, and both times she was turned away. They said they didn't have enough staff to accept her, so therefore they turned her away both times. And then on this arrest date on the 13th, they came over to her house to arrest her. I'm not real sure what transpired that day, but it's kind of all out of the same, circumstances. But we're going to address that. She did go to court this morning on felony court. She was given a UJR. There's no reason for her and the alleged victim to have contact. There hasn't been any contact. Allegedly, in the beginning, when there were alleged text messages that were going back and forth, she was unrepresented. She doesn't need, to have any contact with Miss Goldman, and in fact, desires not to have any contact. The threats were going back and forth. She went to go get her own TPO, but they wouldn't do it because they felt it was reciprocal in nature. We're working on if it goes back to court, we are working on a counterclaim on that issue regarding some of the evidence that we have regarding Ms. Goldman, and we'll deal with that at the appropriate time. Regardless, she doesn't have any convictions, no felony convictions. She's not going to have any contact with Ms. Goldman. There's already a TPO that's in place. She represented herself at that hearing. So therefore, we would be okay with the $5,000 bond, good bond, no violations.
All right. Defendant will receive a $2,500 surety bond. She's to have no contact with the alleged victim, last name Moore, and stay away from the aforementioned address. Additionally, she's to have no drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
Just a quick
Your Honor.
question. Mr. Fortis, Mrs. Miles represented herself at the TPO hearing that she was requesting a TPO, or where the victim was requesting and obtaining a TPO?
I think when the victim was requesting it. I wasn't there.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Best of luck to you, ma'am. That concludes your case.
All right. Thank you, Judge. Good to see you.
Take care. Have a good day, Mr. Fortis. Enjoy the rest of your holiday.
You as well, Your Honor.
Can we go back to Ms. Garner? I see PD Bader. I'm sorry, am I pronouncing your name correctly?
You are, yes.
All right. Do you represent Ms. Garner?
I am. That's
All right.
correct, Your Honor. I got the Zoom link, so we're ready to go
fine.
now.
Ready to go. And in light of the information before me as presented by the state and pretrial, I'm inclined to give your client a signature bond through pretrial at level 2 with the requirement that she stay away from that location on Krog Street. Do you have any objection to that or anything you'd like to add to the record?
No objection to that, Your Honor.
All right. Defendant will receive a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. She is to stay away from that location, have no contact with the manager, last name Amos, and have no alcohol, no drugs, and no weapons as a condition.
Thank you.
All right. Ms. Garner, best of luck to you. All right. Who do we have next?
I have position number 6, Ms. Davis.
All right, Ms. Davis, your case is 24CR0000349F. In this case, you're charged with shoplifting. with the offense date of January the 14th. Do you understand your rights today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
Davis, I got second arrest, 2023, driving under suspension out of South Carolina. She's a resident of South Carolina.
Okay. All right, Mr. Abdullah.
Yes, Your Honor, Muhammad Abdul on behalf of the state. The facts of this case are as follows. On January 14, 2024, officers responded to a shoplifting call at the Walmart Supercenter located at 1105 Research Center Drive, Atlanta, Georgia. Upon arrival, they met with the store security, who told officers that they caught the defendant on surveillance, taking items from their original packaging and concealing them on her person. The defendant also had 3 small children with her. At one time, she took three infant jackets, or 3 jackets, 3 children jackets, removed the tags and placed the jackets on the 3 children. The defendant also tried to take some undergarments, T-shirts, as well as those jackets. She attempted to leave the store without paying for those items, the total amount of the items being $174.34. Given the fact that the defendant is an out-of-state resident, as well as yes, Your Honor, just given the fact that she's an out-of-state resident, she poses a significant flight risk. At this time, the state is requesting a $2,000 surety bond and stay away from all Walmart locations.
All right. Ms. Bader, in light of information before me, I'm inclined to give your client a signature bond through the jail, but require that she stay away from that specific Walmart. Is there anything additional or any objection you'd like to place on the record?
No objection to that. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Defendant will receive a $10,000 signature bond through the jail. She's to stay away from the Walmart. I can't recall that location, but that specific Walmart. And she's to have no alcohol, no drugs, and no weapons. Is there anything additional?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, Ms. Davis. That concludes your case. Who do we have next?
Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt. I am Miss Davis' sister. I was trying to see if there was something that I was able to see. It's too late.
Ms. Davis's sister, I gave her a signature bond. There's nothing further to say, okay? Best of luck
I
to you.
just want to ask questions on it. Okay, thank you.
All right. All right, who's next?
We have position number 1, Mr. Andrews.
All right, Mr. Andrews, your case is 24 CR 0000362G. You're charged with obstruction and battery family violence. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard, can I have that history, please?
6 total, 2022 federal probation violation. They came from marijuana. 2012 possession of marijuana, battery DV, ag assault. And 08 ag assault reckless conduct conviction. This was level 2.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Abdullah?
Yes, Your Honor. The facts of this case are that on January 13, 2024, officers responded to a dispute call at 5325 Sandbar Lane. Upon arrival, they met with the victim, Damian Roman, who told officers that his roommate had come into the room and asked him for $5. When the victim, Damian Roman, denied the defendant $5, he became upset. He began punching the defendant in the face, and he grabbed him by the neck and choked him until he nearly passed out. At one time, Mr. Roman reported to officers that at one time during the attack, he felt that if the defendant was going to kill him. Officers interviewed a third roommate, Mr. Terrence Richardson, who confirmed the report of Damian Roman, the victim. He also, at which time they arrested defendant. At this time, the state is requesting a $3,500 surety bond with no further contact with Damian Roman or the witness, Terrence Richardson. Stay away from the incident location 5325 Sandbar Lane. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while on bond. This recommendation is based off the fact that the defendant has a violent history, which poses a significant risk for reoffending, as well as a significant risk that the defendant may intimidate the witness. He has a 2012 possession of a firearm, by a convicted felon, as well as an aggravated assault. He also has another ag assault from 2008, which was reduced to a reckless conduct and was a conviction. Nothing further from the state at this time.
All right, I'd like to sound for the victim, last name Roman. If you are present on the Zoom conference and wish to make a statement. Okay, I don't see or hear that party. Ms. Bader, please proceed.
Yes, Judge. Mr. Andrews is 34 years old. He does have his GED. He has a good address separate from the incident location. I believe that address was provided on Odyssey to pretrial. He's been in Atlanta his whole life. As you heard, this was one of his roommates. I believe the roommate was intoxicated. He doesn't have any open cases and he doesn't have any failures to appear. He has no issue staying away from the incident location and having no contact with the alleged victim in this case. So Judge, we're asking for a signature bond today.
Your Honor, if
Right.
I could just clarify, there's nothing in the warrant that suggests that the victim or the witness was intoxicated. So any of that would have come from the defendant's own testimony.
All right, defendant will receive a $2,000 surety bond, $1,500 on the battery family violence, $500 on the obstruction. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim in this case or the witness and stay away from that incident location. He can return one time with a member of law enforcement should he need to get any items. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons as a condition. And as a reminder, he will be reset to state all purpose on January 30th, whereby aspects of this case can be revisited. Is there anything additional? All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Andrews. Who do we have next?
Next we have position number 2, Mr. Bonner.
Position 2, I have an armbester. So is that 3, Mr. Bonner? Okay. Mr. Bonner, your case is 24 CR 0000353Y. In this case, you're charged with giving false information. Do you understand your rights? Mr. Howard, can I have that answer?
So this is Bonner,
Yes.
14 total, 2018 reckless conduct. That appears to be open in state court along with the theft by taking. 2016 probation violation, failure to appear. This was level 3.
Okay. Mr. Abdullah?
Yes, Your Honor. The facts showed that on January 12, 2024, officers responded to a person refusing to leave call at 3100 East Point Street. Looks like apartment 5 or unit 5. When officers responded, they found the defendant and a co-defendant who was also arrested on that same date, kissing and fondling each other. The co-defendant in this case was completely naked, and the defendant was kissing on her with his pants unzipped. Officers asked them several times officers asked what they were doing, and they told officers they were about to leave and go home. At which time officers asked the defendant his name, and he told them his name was Dominique Bonner, when his name is in fact Larry Bonner. At this time, the state is requesting a $2,000 surety bond based off of the defendant's significant risk or significant flight risk. He was arrested on an FTA warrant, which is why he gave officers a fake name as to avoid being arrested on that warrant. He also has several probation violations, which shows that he's not a good candidate for supervised release, and just shows that he is extreme risk of reoffending. Nothing further from the state at this time.
All right, Ms. Bader?
Yes, Judge. First, I'd like to address the failure to appear. His mother had passed away recently and he became homeless because he was living with her. And as a result, he did not have good notice for court. So this wasn't a willful failure to appear. And he actually has a no bond on that theft by taking. If we are able to address that today, we are asking for a signature bond that is part of the 18 CR case. And
I don't think we can address that case today. That's not
okay.
before me, but I understand that I appreciate your request.
Judge, he has lived in Atlanta his whole life. His friends and family are in the area. He does have a good address. He hasn't been, or he doesn't have any incidents since the 2018 arrest. So Judge, we do not believe he is a risk to reoffend, and he has good ties to the community. This is a nonviolent case as well, so he doesn't pose a threat to society. So we are asking for a signature bond.
All right, as it pertains to the giving false information, defendant will receive a $3,500 signature bond through the jail. He's to have no alcohol, no drugs, or weapons.
Your Honor, if I may, I may have left it off, but if we can get a stay away from that 3100 East Point Street address.
All right, what is that address again? What is it?
I'm not exactly sure what it is. There was a unit number of 5, and it says that officers, they were on a patio when they arrived, so I'm not sure what that address is.
That's not his home, is it, Ms. Bader? Do you know?
No, Judge.
Okay. Since we don't appear to believe that's his home, I will grant that stay away as well. All right. Best of luck to you, Mr. Bonner. That concludes your case.
Excuse me, Judge. Ms. Bader, do you mind putting the 18 CR case number in the chat, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
And Judge, let me just triple check that that is not his home.
Okay.
Okay, that is not his home, although I would just on the record like to object because there doesn't seem to be any reason for the stay away. This is a giving false information case.
It's giving false information case, but
no, that's fine. The stay away will stay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate your advocacy from you both. We have a long calendar, so let's not hash out every single detail. Who do we have next?
We have position number 4. Buffington.
All right. Mr. Buffington, your case is 24 CR 0000355G. You're charged with criminal trespass. You understand, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
47 total.
Okay, last 5 years.
But it's a lot. So listen, last arrest was last year, probation violation. On probation in the cab for entering auto. Theft by taking. Also a shoplifter. And he has an open shoplifting in Superior Court, 23 SC 190297. So I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. Yeah. All right, Mr. Abdullah.
Yes, Your Honor. The facts show that on January 13, 2024, officers responded while working off-duty job at 6, 7, and 5 Ponce de Leon Avenue, which is the Ponce City Market. Officers got a call over the radio from Ponce City Market security saying that the defendant was shoplifting from the West Elm store. Officers gave the defendant's description, and officers were able to find the defendant on the loading docks at the Ponce City Market. Upon making contact with the defendant, officers determined that the defendant was banned from the property on 9/18/2022 after stealing items and being charged with shoplifting. The same officer arrested the defendant on September 29th of 2023 for criminal trespass. As you heard, the defendant does have an extensive arrest record, including 3 Alabama cycles, all theft related, from 2016, as well as 44 Georgia cycles within the last year. So he has over nearly 10 theft charges, mostly being theft by shoplifting. For this reason, the state is asking that you grant a $3,500 surety bond and a stay away from the Ponce de Leon Avenue. Again, he has several cases just from this location. It seems as if he keeps returning. His last arrest there was September 29th of 2023. Nothing further from the state.
All right, Ms. Bader.
Yes, Judge. Mr. Buffington is 35 years old. He's lived in Georgia his whole life. He doesn't have any prior failures to appear, and he is on probation. My understanding is he hasn't had trouble reporting to probation previously. And this is a nonviolent offense. He does have family in the area. He's particularly close with his brother. Today we are asking for a signature bond.
All right, defendant will receive a signature bond in the amount of $4,000 through pretrial level 2. He is to stay away from Hot City Market and have no alcohol, no drugs, or weapons as a condition of that signature bond. Is there anything additional? All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Buffington.
Next, we have position number 2, Ms. Armbester at ACDC, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Armbester, your case is 24 CR 0000347H. You're charged with theft by taking. Do you understand your rights? All right, thank you, Mr. Abdullah.
Yes, Your Honor. The facts show that on September 12, 2023, officers responded to a theft call at 355 Peachtree Street, Atlanta, Georgia. Officers met with the victim, who told officers that she had a package stolen from her. It was misdelivered and she was not able to retrieve it. They met with the office manager, who had surveillance footage of the defendant taking the package. The victim in this case tried to knock on the defendant's door and retrieve the package. However, she was unsuccessful. The package contained creamer, snacks, and a grill cleaner. At this time, the state is requesting a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial and no further contact with her neighbor, who is, her name is, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I lost her name. Her name is Miss Lawson. Oh, yes, Miss Ernestine Lawson. I'm sorry, Ernestine Stevens, Your Honor. And that is based off the defendant's extensive criminal history, which is 20 cycles dating back to 1989. Nothing further from the state at this time.
I'm sorry, I skipped Mr. Howard. Mr. Howard, can I have her history, or did I miss it?
Oh, you missed it, but I mean, it's okay.
All right, well, do you can, yeah, please give it to me since I'm hearing it's extensive.
And it's 20 arrests. Last was 2021 trespass conviction. 2016 simple battery, and before that was 2012.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay, Miss Stevens, if you'd like to make a statement, please turn on your camera, raise your right hand.
Hello? Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
if you want to make a statement, raise your right hand.
Am I
No,
on?
no, yes, you're on, but you can't
Oh,
talk because I put you under oath. Do you want to make a statement today?
yes, ma'am, I will. Donald.
Okay, please raise your right hand.
My right hand.
All right. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge under the penalty of perjury?
I do.
All right. What would you like to tell me?
Okay, I having a problem because I'm hard with the phone. But I wanted to tell you, I wanted to tell you about this lady. She's new to our building. I was there
Okay.
7.5 years.
She
hold
on, Miss
all
Stevens.
Hold on, y'all help her out.
Miss Stevens, hold
Yes,
on 1 second. I don't want you to say too much, okay?
Okay, let me tell you this.
Before you tell me, let me wait, stop, Miss Stevens. I will put you out the Zoom. Let me give you some
what do you want
instructions.
me to do, Your Honor?
I want you to listen, and then I'm going to give you some instructions, and then you're going to speak, okay? I'm most concerned with your concerns for your safety and any concerns you have about, contacting this defendant. I don't really want you to run down a whole history on this young lady. I'm not sentencing her today. There will be another opportunity for you to give your full side of the story. She has committed a misdemeanor offense, allegedly. She is entitled to a bond today. So she will receive a bond with conditions. I am most concerned with setting those conditions. So please do not run me through everything you want to tell me about her. Just tell me about your concerns for your safety and your desires for contact. All right. So what would you like to tell me, Ms. Stevens?
I'm very concerned for my safety. The lady is dangerous, ma'am. I'm very concerned for my safety. She's been terrorizing the building. That's all I want to say since she got there. Pulling guns now, she's terrorizing. She's a terrorizer. That's all I want to say. And I'll get back with you like you say later on. Please help us.
I appreciate that. And I know that sounds harsh, but this is a bond hearing and there are certain testimony that's appropriate. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Stevens. I appreciate you coming to court making that statement. Ms. Bader.
Thank you so much. You have a nice day, Your Honor.
You too. Take care. Ms. Bader, please proceed.
Judge, I don't have an objection to what the state asked for, the $2,000 signature bond. I just want to make sure that there isn't a stay away from that building. Ultimately, that is where she resides, but she's fine to stay away from the alleged victim.
Okay, Mr. Abdullah, was there a request? Are they immediate next door neighbors? Do we know? Was there a stay away requested by the state?
No, Your Honor. So my understanding that she lives there. She just needs to avoid the neighbor. It looks like she may have been in communication. I just received another correspondence that said that she may have left a note or something like that. So she needs to just stay away. No contact
No
directly.
contact, no direct contact. All right, and I'm sorry, and the requested SOB was through the jail or through pretrial? Was she recommended, Mr. Howard? Level 2?
1.
Level 1. Okay, well, that's what we'll do. Defendant will receive a $4,000 signature bond, level 1 through pretrial. She's to have absolutely no contact whatsoever with the alleged victim, whether through notes, texts, calls. If she sees her, she should turn around, go the other way, and stay away from the young lady's apartment unit, at least as far away as she can. Additionally, she's to have no drugs, no alcohol, or no weapons as a condition. All right. Is there anything further from either the state or defense?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, ma'am. That concludes your case. And do not have any contact with your neighbor at all. All right. Who do we have next?
Another add-on email.
Okay. I haven't looked at it yet.
We have position number 5, Mr. Chambers.
All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Chambers. Your case is 24 CR 000-348J. In this case, you're charged with battery and criminal trespass. Do you understand your rights?
Yes.
You got a yes? All right. Mr. Howard?
First arrest, jail was the recommendation.
All right. Mr. Abdullah?
Yes, Your Honor. The facts showed it on December. I'm sorry, I believe I had the wrong incident date.
I have January 13th.
Yes, Your Honor. On January 13th, 2024, officers responded to a dispute call at 3393 Peachtree Road, which is the Lenox Shopping Mall. They met with the victim in this case, Mrs. Diana Rout, who told officers that she parked her car. When she got out, the defendant was upset because he accused her of taking the parking spot before him. She said that she paid the defendant no mind and continued to go in the mall to shop. When she came out of the mall, the defendant was still there. She noticed that her car had been keyed or scratched from the front bumper to the rear bumper. There was a verbal argument between the defendant and the victim, at which time the defendant punched the victim in the mouth, causing a laceration to her lip. Officers observed bleeding coming from her lip. At this time, the state is requesting a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, a stay away, and no further contact with the victim, in this case, Diana Rout. A stay away from the incident location, 3393 Peachtree Road, and 1 day anger management, no drugs, weapon, or alcohol while on bond. This is the defendant's first arrest.
All right. Is Ms. Rout present and wishes to make a statement?
Your Honor, I believe she was also arrested.
Oh, it was a dual arrest?
Yes, Your Honor,
Okay.
this was a dual arrest.
All right, defendant, unless Ms. McLeod objects, defendant will receive a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. It'll be a $2,000 on the battery, $1,000 on the criminal trespass, level 1. He's to take the 1 day anger awareness course, have no contact with the cross defendant, and stay away from Lenox Mall, and
Your
have
Honor,
no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Any objection, Ms. McLeod?
I was wondering if his bond could be through the jail, Your Honor. He is 36 years old. He's never been arrested. This was, based on what he tells me, he was definitely not the aggressor here.
I'm going to require the 1 day anger awareness, so I'm going to send it through pretrial. But I do note your objection, Ms. McLeod. All right. Best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case.
What was that bond? I wanted to go get the add-on.
3,000 level 1 through pretrial.
All right. No contact?
No contact.
Your Honor,
And 1 day anger awareness.
Okay.
we have before you at the ACDC, Ms. Rout.
Okay. And she is position 7. Ms. Rout, your case is 24 CR 0000359E. You're charged with criminal trespass. You understand your rights? All right. Mr.
It's a
Howard.
10th arrest. 2011 theft of property and a resident of Austin, Texas.
Okay. So nothing since 2011. All right, Mr. Abdullah.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, it's not mine.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who is this? Ms. Talarian? Please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is alleged to have occurred on January 13, 2024.
I think I heard the facts. This is the fight at Lenox Mall, so anything that's distinctive from the last case.
Okay, yes, Your Honor. What happened thereafter was instead of calling for law enforcement, the victim decided to key the defendant's car in the last case, which is the victim in this case, Mr. Jabari Chambers' vehicle. That incident was caught on tape. The defendant is a resident of Texas. She has 9 cycles in Texas. She's a convicted felon. We believe she poses a flight risk due to same. And she even has a conviction for evading arrest out of Texas as well. We'd ask for a $3,000 cash bond, no further contact with Mr. Jabari, Jabari Chambers, Chambers, a stay away from Lenox Mall, 3393 Peachtree Road, Atlanta, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
All right, Ms. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor, we would be asking for a signature bond. Ms. Rout is the primary victim in this case. I guess cross defendant was the aggressor. Merely living in Texas does not make her a flight risk. And I don't think that she's had any additional charges since, was it 2009? And I believe this is just a criminal trespass. I don't think a cash bond is appropriate. I'd ask for a signature bond.
All right, defendant will receive $1,000 surety bond. She used to have no contact with the cross defendant, stay away from Lenox Mall, and have no alcohol, no drugs, and no weapons.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything additional? Best of luck to you, Ms. Rout. All right, who do we have next?
Your Honor, this is Milton. Do we have the Spanish interpreter on?
Oh, no, we do not. Will we have an interpreter today, Ms. Strong?
I will have to request one, Judge, because I don't remember seeing anything stating that we needed one. Who was the defendant that needs the interpreter?
Her name is Miss Martinez Perez Montserrat.
Okay, so what position number is it?
Position 12.
Thank you.
And I did request one from Ms. Cook, but maybe that was the wrong person to request it from.
No, I think that's correct, Ms. Wright. I think that's correct.
Okay.
All right, we can't go to that position yet. Can we take another position?
Yes, we have position number 8.
All right. Let's see. Your case number is 24 CR 0000351Y. In this case, you're charged with battery, family violence. Do you understand your rights?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Howard.
5th arrest. Was arrested 3 days ago for suspended license. Appears to be on probation out of Florida. Improper use of a firearm or dangerous weapon. Battery, touch, or strike. And the suspended license is out of Henry County. That's all.
When was the battery, touch, or strike? That was this year?
That was in Florida.
Oh, Florida. Okay.
He got probation last year in February.
Okay.
Which should be ending soon. All right.
All right, understood. Thank you. Whose case is this for the state? I don't want to guess incorrectly.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, it's mine. I'm having trouble turning on my camera and turning it off when I'm supposed to.
Okay, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor, the facts showed it on August 23rd of 2023. Officers responded to a domestic dispute call at 330 Lake Royal Place in Riverdale, Georgia. Upon arrival, they met with the victim who had had blood coming from her nose and mouth, as well as blood all over her dress. The victim reported to officers that her child's father had punched her several times in the face After they were hanging out in the nightclub, he became jealous because she was getting compliments. When they left, they got into the backseat of the vehicle where the attack started. Again, the defendant just repeatedly punched her in the face until she was able to escape and call 911. At this time, the state is requesting a $5,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, Andrea Love, and third-party transfer of any minor children, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while on bond. Again, this recommendation is based off of the fact that he does have a open case out of Florida, so he has a multi-state arrest record. That case is a pretty serious case, and a very violent case in which he was charged with battery, striking, as well as aggravated assault with a deadly weapon in 2023 of last year, just a little less than 6 months before this case. And for that reason, the state is requesting a $5,000 surety bond, no further contact, and third-party transfer to children. Nothing further from the state.
All right, and I'm sorry, the name of the victim again, so I can sound.
Andrea Love.
All right, Miss Love, I believe I saw that name earlier, maybe not. If you are present and wish to make a statement, please turn on your camera and raise your right hand. All right, do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right. Again, I'm most concerned with your desires for contact and any concerns you have about your safety. In light of those instructions, what would you like to tell me?
It doesn't have to be a third party transportation for our kid, and it doesn't have to be no contact.
Okay. Would you like to tell me anything else?
It's a misunderstanding with the whole entire thing.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate you coming to court and making that statement. Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. This is Mr. Kirkland. His name was on call. I'm just presuming.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is Mr. Hopkins, so this must be Ms. Bader.
Yes, this is. Thank you, Judge. Mr. Hopkins is 24 years old. He has lived in Georgia for 11 years. His family moved here from New Jersey. He has a good address with his grandmother. I believe that's the address with pretrial. If not, it's 1701 Sable Chase Boulevard, Apartment 1. He did graduate high school and he has 2 years of college under his belt as well. He does have a good job with a temp service. Judge, it's my understanding that he doesn't have any prior felony convictions. Based on the complaining witness's statement, I guess we'll just ask for no violent contact. And he maintains his innocence in this case. Judge will be asking for a signature bond today.
All right. Defendant will receive a $2,500 surety bond. He's to have no further violent contact with the alleged victim. And he is additionally to have no drugs, no alcohol, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything further? All right. Best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case. Who do we have next?
Next, we have position number 9, Mr. Kirkland.
All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Kirkland. Your case is 24 CR 000352D. In this case, you're charged with criminal trespass and damage to property with the offense dated July the 24th of 2021. Do you understand your rights?
No.
All right, Mr. Howard.
19 total. 2021 trespass dismissed. 2020 driving without a valid license. 2017 probation and disorderly conduct conviction. 2010 burglary, criminal damage to property conviction. This was level 3.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Abdullah?
Yes, Your Honor. The facts showed it on July 24th of 2021. Officers responded to a dispute call at 2900 Camp Creek Parkway. Upon arrival, they met with the victim, Kisselyn Redding, who told officers that her child's father was meeting her to pick up the child. When he arrived at the meet location, the defendant opened the door of the victim, took her iPad out of the car, and smashed it against the ground, destroying it. At this time, the state is requesting a $2,000 surety bond. No further violent contact with the defendant. I'm sorry, with the victim, Ms. Kisselyn Redding. and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol. This recommendation is based off of the fact that this incident took place in front of the minor child, as well as the defendant's history. He has a 2017 simple battery family violence charge, which was reduced to a disorderly conduct. For that reason, the state argues that he poses a risk of reoffending, and that is our basis for the recommendation, Your Honor. Nothing further from the state.
All right. Is Ms. Redding on the line and wishes to make a statement? Hearing none. Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. We'll be asking for signature bond today, Your Honor. This alleged incident happened over 2.5 years ago. My client is no longer in contact with the alleged victim. So I don't see how he poses a threat to anyone, since he's not been arrested since 2021 also. So I think he should receive a signature bond, Your Honor. In addition, he is a father of 4 children, and he tells me that he's currently unemployed and has been unemployed for quite some time. So he's not in a position to pay for bond. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Defendant will receive a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. He's to have no further contact with the alleged victim. And was the stay away requested? I didn't write a stay away.
No, Your Honor, I believe.
I didn't think so. It's criminal. All right. And additionally, he's to have no drugs, no alcohol, or weapons as a condition of that SOB through pretrial. Is there anything additional?
No,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you. That concludes your case.
Next, we have position number 10, Mr. Little.
All right, Mr. Little, your case is 24 CR 0000354A. You're charged with 2 counts of battery family violence and 1 count of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Do you understand your rights?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Howard.
First arrest, he's 18 years old.
Okay. All right, Mr. Abdullah.
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, the facts show that on January 14, 2024, officers responded to 3150 Middleton Road, apartment number 450 in Atlanta, Georgia, on a domestic dispute call. Upon arrival, they met with the victim, who was the defendant's mother, Jasmine Cullins. Ms. Cullins advised that a fight began between her and the defendant after she approached the defendant about cooking a meal without permission. The victim, Ms. Cullins, told officers that she was punched by the defendant and tackled. At one point, she had to grab a knife for her protection as she was afraid for her life. In the scuffle, Mrs. Cullins' fingers was cut. When the defendant's little brother tried to break the fight up, Marlon Little, the defendant turned around and punched him in the face, as well as choked him, causing visible injury. All of this was done in front of the minor child, who was the defendant's younger sister. He also attempted to hit the younger sister because she is the one who told the mother about him cooking the meal. At this time, the state is requesting a $3,000 surety bond. No further contact with any of the victims, that is Jasmine Cullins, Marlon Little, or his minor sister, Cassidy Little, and stay away from the incident location at 3150 Middleton Road, apartment number 450. This is based off the defendant's risk of reoffending, as well as his risk of intimidating the witnesses or the victims in this case, because he lives with them. Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
All right. Is and the mother's last name is Little?
Cullins.
Cullins. Is Miss Cullins on the line? And I don't see anyone with that name. Ms. McLeod, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 18 years old. He tells me that he's currently employed. He works for the school from which he just recently graduated. My client denies that he was the aggressor here. He tells me that his mother was the one who became aggressive with him, and he was just trying to defend himself from what she was doing. Just based on what the state is alleging it, it sounds that my client may well be telling the truth, because I cannot imagine a mother accosting her child about cooking a meal. It just doesn't sound right. But my client denies that he assaulted his mom or battered his mom in any way. He tells me that she was the one who came and mushed him in the face and started to attack him, Your Honor. He does have another place that he can go. I would ask the signature bond through the jail. He's 18 years old and he's employed. So my understanding is that he can sign his own bond, Your Honor. He tells me that he is going to go to live with his grandmother. So he doesn't have to go there. But I certainly would ask for no further violent contact, Your Honor, especially with his siblings, which is what he would prefer.
All right.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Defendant is going to receive a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. That'll be $1,000 on each count. He's to have no contact whatsoever with any of the victims at that time. At this time, of course, that can be revisited at a later date. He's going to take the 1-day anger awareness course. And additionally, he's to have no drugs, no alcohol, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
Nothing, Your Honor. So he will be able to sign his own bond since he's employed and he's 18.
Let me ask, Mr. Howard, I've heard conflicting things. I've heard so far people under 21 are being required to get co-signers. Can pretrial take someone 18?
Whatever you order.
All right. I won't require that he have a co-signer at this time. All right.
You will not require?
I will not require.
Okay. I didn't hear the not. All right.
Not required. All right.
Thank you.
Holly, put that on the bond order, please, because otherwise they'll jam him up.
We don't want that. All right.
Will do.
All right, Mr. Little, that concludes your case. Best of luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor. And that concludes my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Take care, Ms. McConnell. Have a great rest of your holiday. Bye-bye.
Next we have position number 11.
All right, Ms. Strong, any announcement on interpretation?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. She should be signing on in a few moments.
Okay, thank you. All right, good afternoon. Your case number is 24 CR 0000356C. In this case, you're charged with obstruction and I guess hindering a 911 call.
No, Your Honor, misuse of 911 call.
Oh, misuse. This is an interesting way of putting that charge. All right. Do you understand your rights today?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Which one is this?
Position 11.
Hello?
Yes, 11, Mr. Howard. Can we have that
23
history?
total. I'm sorry, 2023 maintaining disorderly house. That appears to be open. That was an arrest from December 14th. And an open battery as well. Got a 2014 false imprisonment, reckless conduct, 09 false report of a crime. This was level 3.
Okay. All right, Ms. Talarian.
Yes, Your Honor. Jessica Talarian for the state. This incident is alleged to have occurred from January 9th to January 10th of 2024. The incident location is 1910 Center Ave in East Point. The defendant here called 911 requesting services, then was hanging up and calling back saying he didn't need assistance. He called on several other dates as well. It was confirmed through investigation that he called 10 different times in the weeks prior, calling and hanging up on dispatch and indicating the same information. Officers went to his location at one point where he appeared to be under the influence of an unknown substance. He was thought to have no legitimate purpose of calling 911. Officers made contact with him as he indicated he wanted a woman by the name of Mrs. Purdue to leave. He said he didn't. Then at one point he said he didn't know if he wanted her to leave, and officers indicated he shouldn't call 911 if nothing criminal was happening. He was yelling in front of officers, and they told him to stop yelling, and he continued yelling and wouldn't stop talking to Mrs. Purdue after being issued verbal commands to do so. I do want to point out that this defendant has other violent offenses, including various batteries, aggravated assault. He also, of note, has a murder charge from 2004, a burglary charge in which he was convicted. And I will clarify that he was not convicted of that offense, but that is a serious concern for the state. Accordingly, based on his violent history and him having so many cycles The state is asking for $2,500 cash bond on each count and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
All right, that's right.
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to say first that these are not violent offenses, neither the misuse of 911 call or the obstruction. He let me know that he had a female companion at the house. They started drinking, but once they started drinking, she got quite rowdy and started getting violent with him. So he called the police, but every time that there would be threats of the police being called, she would disappear, but then come back. And that's why he would call, let the officers know that she had left, but then she would come back. He was still concerned. And that's how that sort of thing played out. He also let me know that as far as the obstruction, he wasn't attempting to speak to the other woman. He was trying to speak with a female officer. He had some questions to ask her, but there seemed to be some serious miscommunication between him and the officer. Mr. Lowe is 58 years old. He does have 5 children and he is disabled. Your Honor, I am asking for a signature bond on this case. He's not a threat to the community, especially not under these charges.
All right, defendant will receive a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. It'll be $2,500 on each count.
Thank
I'm
you,
not
Your
gonna, and additionally, no drugs, alcohol, and weapons as the only condition.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Lowe. Who do we have next?
Next, we have position number 15.
All right, good afternoon. Your case is 24 CR 000-357Y. You're charged with reckless driving. You understand your rights?
That's mine.
All right, Mr. Howard.
Let's see. I got 52 total for
Okay.
Neely. 2021 possession of a Schedule 1. 2021 possession of a controlled substance that was dismissed. Probation violations from 2017. Controlled substance from 2017 as well. 2015 public order crime conviction. 2014 sale of opium conviction. This was level 2.
Okay. All right, Ms. Hilarion. You're muted if you're speaking.
I apologize, Jessica Tillerian for the state. This incident is alleged to have occurred on January 14, 2024 at 5085 Old National Highway. The defendant is charged with 1 count of reckless driving. The officer indicated that he drove in excess of 30 miles over the speed limit. In addition to that, he made an improper lane change, followed a vehicle too closely, and operated his motor vehicle without regard for other persons on the roadway. And I will indicate that 49 of his cycles took place in Florida. We would ask for a $1,000 bond and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol.
And you're not requesting any driving restrictions? Okay.
Yeah, we would request that he. No, I'm not requesting any at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, understood. But before I go to Ms. Wright, you're actually the person that needs to speak with the interpreter, correct?
Your Honor, I actually speak Spanish. The interpreter is just for the court.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Wright, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Neely is 39 years old. He let me know he was pulling into Old National, which is kind of a tricky road to get into during a really highly traffic-y sort of time. He sped up to get inside of the lane where he needed to be. And at that point, the officer put on his lights and pulled him over. I am asking for a signature bond on this case, Your Honor.
All right. Defendant will receive $1,000 surety bond. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons as a condition. Anything additional?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Can we go to the interpretation, please?
Your Honor, if it's not too much trouble, can we hear her case in a room, in a private room?
I'm sure the state, which position is she? Let's figure that out. Let me see what her.
I want to say she's
Position 12.
Okay, before we do, let's go into a breakout to figure out why. Let you tell me why. So can I be placed in a breakout with Miss Wright, Miss Solarian, Mr. Abdullah, and Miss Bader, and SG Denise?
I'm not sure if you said me, Your Honor. I
Oh,
apologize.
and Miss Allen, my apologize. My apologies. I didn't forgot
Thank
you were here with us today.
Just
But you're
creeping in
more
the
than welcome.
back.
You're more than welcome to join us.
I'm sorry, Judge. I apologize. Good morning. Good afternoon. This Sergeant Judge. But is there any way that I can call you because it's something I need to ask you per the sheriff, please?
Sure. Miss Holly, can you chat them my number?
Or I can give you the courtroom number. You can call me.
Okay, either way.
It's 2404, I'm sorry, 612-2391, please.
All right, give me 1 second. I'll give you a call. Thank you.
Thank you. The lights off in here.
All right, the request from the jail is in process. All right, Ms. Chancey, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge under the penalty of perjury? Oh, wrong person. I'm sorry, Ms. Chancey. Do you swear and affirm that you will make an accurate translation from English to Spanish, Spanish to English to the best of your skills, knowledge, and ability?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right, you can put your hand down. Good afternoon, Ms. Martinez Perez. Your case is 24 CR 000-363C.
Buenas tardes, señora Martínez. You said García? Or
Perez.
Perez. Oh, Perez. Su número de caso es 24CR 00363C.
In this case, you're charged with simple battery, family violence, and simple assault, family violence.
En este caso, usted tiene un cargo de golpes y lesiones, violencia familiar y también una agresión simple.
You have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you.
Usted tiene el derecho a guardar silencio. Todo lo que diga en este caso puede y será usado en su contra.
You have a right to an attorney, and Ms. Wright is present on the Zoom conference to assist you.
Usted tiene el derecho a ser representado por un abogado y la señorita Wright está aquí para asistirla.
You have a right to I'm sorry, and I'm conducting this hearing over the internet as a live stream. It's also being recorded.
También esta audiencia se está pasando en vivo y siendo grabada.
That means any member of the public can watch. Do you understand your rights today?
Se está transmitiendo por la internet y lo que significa que todo miembro del público puede contactarse y observarlos. ¿Usted entendió sus derechos constitucionales?
All right, I believe she's saying yes.
Microphones.
Can we unmute the ACDC? But I think she understands. Ask her to nod, Ms. Chancey, if she understands.
Okay, ¿entendió, señora? ¿Me puede decir con la cabeza? Okay. Gracias.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Based upon the information before me presented at breakout.
Basado en la información presentada ante mí en la otra sala virtual.
Defendant will receive a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1.
La acusada recibirá una fianza bajo firma a través de los servicios previos al juicio de nivel 1.
It'll be $4,000 on count 1 and $1,000 on count 2.
Serán $4,000 de fianza para el cargo 1 y $1,000 de fianza para el cargo 2.
She's to have no contact with the alleged victim in this case.
Queda prohibido el contacto con la víctima alegada en este caso.
She can return one time to the stay away address with a member of law enforcement.
Él puede regresar a el lugar del incidente solo una vez, escoltada por un oficial de policía.
To collect her items and her children as well.
Para ir a buscar sus pertenencias personales y al igual que los niños.
She is additionally to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons as a condition.
Queda prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas en este caso.
Is there anything additional from the state of the defense?
¿Hay algo más de la defensa o fiscalía?
Your Honor, I just want to clarify, would you like me to put a factual basis down for the allegations?
Yo solo quiero...
Yes, very briefly. Go ahead to make the record clean.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. This incident was alleged to have occurred on January 12th, 2024 at 1121 Rappahannock Drive, Alpharetta. The victim in this case is Josaphat Nunez Solis, that's Josafat Nunez, Nunez Solis, Solis. The parties are...
Wait, let Miss Chancey interpret.
I really couldn't pick up the whole thing.
Start again, Ms. Valerian, and go give us a few breaks, please.
Yeah, if you can pause, I'll certainly appreciate it. Thank you, ma'am.
This incident was alleged to have occurred on January 12th, 2024.
Este incidente ocurrió el 12 de enero del 2024.
The incident is alleged to have occurred at 1121 Rappahannock Drive in Alpharetta.
Ocurrió en el domicilio 1121 Rappahannock en Alpharetta.
The alleged victim in this case is Josephat Nunez Solis.
La víctima alegada en este caso es Josephat Núñez Solís.
The facts in this case are as follows. The victim showed the officers a video of the altercation.
Los hechos son los siguientes. La víctima le mostró a los oficiales un video del altercado.
The video shows the defendant attacking the victim with a closed fist.
El video muestra a la acusada atacando a la víctima con un puño cerrado.
The victim also indicated that the defendant picked up a knife and advanced towards him with the knife.
Y también se indicó que la víctima recogió un cuchillo y lo forzó usando el cuchillo.
The video also shows the 9-year-old daughter of the victim in the video crying, asking the defendant to stop.
También el video muestra a la niña de 9 años, la niña de la víctima llorando, pidiendo que se detuviese.
Another child was also present and crying in the hallway because she could hear the fight.
También había otro menor llorando porque escuchaba la pelea.
And lastly, the video shows the defendant throwing glass bottles at the victim.
También se muestra que la acusada tiraba botellas de vidrio hacia la víctima.
The defendant has a history that includes a simple battery offense with the same victim from 2015.
También hay un historial en esta acusada en donde con cargos de golpes y lesiones simples en un caso del 2015.
Aggravated assault that was not convicted and a battery family violence that was convicted in 2016.
Y también otro cargo en el 2016 de la misma índole, pero también hay otro cargo por agresión con agravantes que no recibió sentencia.
And the state is not providing a bond recommendation in this case due to the information that was provided to the state in the breakout room.
Y la Fiscalía no va a ofrecer ninguna recomendación de sentencia debido a la información obtenida en la otra sala virtual.
The last thing I would like to ask is of the judge, would you still like for us to sound for the victim in this case?
Quisiera pedirle a la jueza que llame a la víctima en este caso.
Ms. Chancey, will you sound, I'm sorry, what's the victim's name?
Es Josephat Núñez Solís. Núñez Solís. Está presente en la plataforma de Zoom. Por favor, prenda su micrófono y encienda su cámara.
All right, I believe we've addressed this case in its entirety.
Creo que hemos ya dirigido este caso totalmente.
Is there anything additional from State or Defense?
¿Hay algo más de la Fiscalía o Defensa?
No, Your Honor.
No, su señoría.
All right, that concludes your case, ma'am. Best of luck for you.
Your Honor, what was her bond amount?
She's getting a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial, 4,000 count 1, 1,000 count 2.
So that's $10,000?
I'm sorry, 5. 5.
Five total. Okay, thank you. Pretrial level 1.
Your Honor, the defendant was raising her hand. I don't know how you want to address
Okay,
that.
Hold on, Your Honor.
Excuse me, Your Honor, did you see my message I sent to you?
I did not. Let's look again. And then, did you get what I sent? No?
Yeah, it's been sent.
Okay, great. Okay, I see it now.
Okay.
All right, she had a question. You had
¿Tiene
a
una
question?
pregunta, señora o señorita?
No es pregunta, señorita. Quiero hacer un comentario respecto a ese día. ¿Se puede?
I just want to know if I can make a comment.
No. Please don't make a comment. Please speak to your attorney after this hearing,
And
okay?
Your Honor, if I
No,
can
por
just-
favor, hable a su abogada después de esta audiencia. No haga ningún comentario.
And if I can just let her know that I will be calling her shortly after court so that I could explain everything to her.
Okay.
Quisiera explicarle que voy a llamarla rápidamente después de esta sesión en el tribunal para poder explicarle todo esto a usted.
Muy bien. Gracias.
Very well,
All right.
thank you.
All right, best of luck to you. Thank you. Miss Chancey,
Mucha
will you
suerte.
sound before you leave?
Yes, Your Honor. ¿Hay alguien que necesite un intérprete en español para comunicarse con la señorita o señora jueza? Por favor, avísenos.
Aquí no hay nadie más.
Okay, there's nobody else here.
All right, thank you. Take care. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And goodbye, Miss Chancey. Have a good one.
Goodbye.
All right, who do we have next?
Position number 16.
All right, so your case is 24 CR 0000358B. You're charged with battery, family violence, and cruelty to children. You understand your rights?
Yes, I do.
In the third degree, I apologize. All right, Mr. Howard.
Second arrest. Last was 2015 out of California. Alien inadmissibility.
All right, understood. Thank you, Ms. Solarian. Please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. This incident is alleged to have occurred on January 14, 2024 at 3663 East Paces Walk Northeast. The defendant here in this case admitted to slapping the victim with the back of his hand. To the officers, the victim's name is Ogechi Obenkinsky, and that's OGECHIOBIKANSI. The victim stated that there was an argument between the parties. The defendant kept pointing his finger to make contact with the victim's head. He then slapped her and punched her in the head, and the victim's daughter was in her arms the whole time of the incident. The victim had 2 lumps on her forehead and a red mark on the right side of her head. Due to the aforementioned, the state is requesting a $3,000 bond on each count, no further contact with the aforementioned victim, a stay away, and a third-party transfer of the children, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and we ask that the court sound for the victim at the appropriate time.
All right, and the name of the victim one last time?
Yes, Ogechi Obakansi.
All right, is that person on this Zoom conference and wishes to make a statement? All right, Ms. Wright, in light of the limited criminal history, I'm inclined to give your client a signature bond through pretrial level 1, require a 1-day anger awareness course, and have no contact with that alleged victim, require that they coordinate transfer of a child through a third party. And I'm sorry, Ms. Larry, did you request to stay away?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
And I would also grant that stay away. Is there anything that you object to, Ms. Wright, or anything additional you'd like to put on the record?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Defendant will receive a $3,500 signature bond through pretrial 3,000, count 1, 500. On count 2, that'll be level 1. He's take the 1-day anger awareness course, have no contact with the alleged victim, coordinate transfer of the children through a third party, and stay away from the incident location. He can return 1 time with a member of law enforcement to get any items. Is there anything additional?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case. Who do we have next?
What was the bond?
35 SOB level 1.
Anger aware?
Yes, please.
All right. No contact?
No contact.
Next, we have position number 18. Mr. Smith.
All right, Mr. Smith, your case is 24 CR 0003608. You're charged with hit and run. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right. Can I have the history, Mr. Howard?
30 total. 2011. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What that is? I got 2019 out of DeKalb County battery DV, simple battery DV, disorderly conduct. Those were convictions. 08 ag stalking, terroristic threats, first offender. This was level 2.
Okay. Ms. Larian?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is alleged to have occurred on 12/25 to 12/26 of 2023 at I-20 West and Fulton Industrial Boulevard. The victim, Theron Ellis, was traveling on I-20 and was struck by the defendant's car on the driver's side. She did sustain injuries in this incident. The parties got off the highway, at which point the victim had to follow the defendant to get tag information. It was a partial tag. She contacted law enforcement. They were able to look on a camera system and find the defendant's vehicle. She was thereafter able to positively identify the defendant. We'd asked for a $3,000 bond in light of him, his history and him fleeing the scene in this case. And we'd also asked for no drugs, weapons, or alcohol, and no further contact with Theron Ellis.
All right, Ms. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor. So Mr. Smith let me know that he was actually the one that was sideswept. He pulled over, he gave the driver his information, including his insurance information. The driver and her passenger were very irate. They refused to give him any kind of information of theirs. And he noted that the passenger actually had a weapon. And because they seemed very irate and like it was escalating, he left. He figured because they had his information, the insurances would get in contact with each other and sort themselves out. He never meant for this to be a hit and run. And like I said, he left because he felt like his life was in danger.
All right. Defendant will receive $1,000 surety bond. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim and have no alcohol, no drugs, or weapons. Anything additional from state or defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Best of
No.
luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Excuse me, Your Honor, will you repeat that the jail had called me in reference to what I sent over there? So what was
That's
the
fine.
bond amount?
1,000 surety. And no contact with the alleged victim.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Uh-huh.
Who do we have next?
Next, we have position number 19.
All right. Mr. Thaxton, your case is 24 CR 0000361G. You're charged with theft by shoplifting. You understand, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
Fifth arrest, 2022, fleeing an officer, DUI. 2021, trespass, NOD. 2015, suspended license dismissed, and a 2014 DUI, NOD.
Okay. Ms. Tolarian?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is alleged to have occurred on January 13th, 2024 at 850 Ponce de Leon at the Home Depot. The defendant here is charged with one count of theft by shoplifting. The loss prevention officer at the store witnessed the defendant taking various items, including a backpack, utility brush, and a three-way diverter, and he failed to pay for those items. They had a value of $272.94. The state is asking for a $1,000 bond and a stay away from that Home Depot and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
All right. Ms. Wright, in light of the information before me, I'm inclined to give your client a signature bond through the jail with that required stay away. Do you have any objections?
None at all, Your Honor.
All right. Defendant will receive a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. He's to stay away from that entire plaza, including the Home Depot on Ponce de Leon, and have no alcohol, no drugs, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case. Who do we have next? All right. What position is this? Courtroom 2 is muted.
I'm sorry, I was muted all that time. This is position number 1 on the add-on calendar.
Oh, can you tell me the name? Because there were 2 add-ons. Is this Mr. Smith?
This is Mr. Montgomery.
James
Okay,
Montgomery.
okay. All right, Mr. Montgomery, your case is 24 CR 000-366E. You're charged with failure to obey a traffic signal and driving while your license is suspended or revoked. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
25 total. Last arrest was last year out of Kentucky. Operating on a suspended license, giving false name that appears to be open. Appears to have an open case out of Detroit for obstruction,
Okay,
and assault excluding sexual. That's it.
okay. Ms. Allen?
This is my case, Your Honor. Mr. Montgomery, it's alleged, was driving on a suspended license here in Atlanta. On the 13th of January at 10 a.m., police observed him running a red light at the intersection of Gilmer and Cortlandt Street here in the city. They activated emergency lights and conducted a traffic stop, and then ran the defendant's information and noted that he was driving on a suspended license. Looks like that might be an ongoing issue. You just heard from pretrial that that was the last thing he was arrested for out of state. That's the information we have it right now. We would leave it to Your Honor's discretion bond issue, but note that he does not reside here.
All right, that's right. I'm inclined to give your client a signature bond through the jail with the requirement that he is absolutely not to drive without a license. Do you have any objection or anything additional you'd like to add?
None, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, defendant will receive a $6,000 signature bond through the jail, $3,000 on each count. He is absolutely not to drive without a valid license, and he is to have no alcohol, no drugs, or weapons. Don't drive, sir. I'm giving you an opportunity.
I understand. Thank you very
All
much.
right, best of luck to you. That concludes your case. Who do we have next?
Position number 20 and 13. They're reset.
Okay, is it a medical reset?
Yes.
Okay, 20 and 13 are reset medical. Okay, is that the entire, oh, we've had one more add-on, correct?
That is correct.
And that's mine, Your Honor. I'll handle it.
Is that person gonna be brought from the additional add-on calendar?
Is that Mr. Skelton that we're discussing?
Yes.
Okay, he did specifically ask if I could waive his presence today because he was feeling very faint and ill. So we'll go ahead and waive his presence for this bond hearing.
All right, if you'll send Ms. Holly that waiver at the conclusion. All
Okay.
right, we will, I hope I can open it. Hold on, the last add-on did not want to open. Give me one moment. And if we could get, if somebody from Public Defender's Office could speak to 13 tomorrow, hopefully, and maybe waive her presence so that she can get out as well for both cases. All right, we'll take up Cordarius Skelton, 24 CR 000-365J, in which he's charged with criminal trespass. Is there more than one charge?
And loitering and prowling.
And loitering and prowling. Okay, I apologize. It's cut off on my phone. What's the history, Mr. Howard?
30 total. 2021 burglary, 2nd degree. On probation for that and theft by taking in Superior Court. Also on probation for entering auto. And another entering auto. 2021 FTA. 2019, another entering auto conviction. I think it was a suspended sentence for that one. 2019 probation. 2017 ag assault against law enforcement, felony obstruction conviction. That's it.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Allen.
Thank you. On January the 14th, Atlanta police were traveling on Chapel Road and they observed a suspicious person. They'd been called recently within the last 2 weeks to the same area and location, specifically the address at 1486 AKRIDGE Street, because someone had broken into a vehicle there on private property. This is a residential neighborhood. So police on the 14th observed an individual enter into the property of a private residence on the driveway itself and was peering into the driver's side window of a car. He noted the description that was given previously matched this person's description. And he had spoken to the family members who lived in that residence previously. There was also Ring camera footage that captured the defendant. So officers detained the defendant, and the victim was able to verify that person as the individual. The officers matched him to the Ring camera. And there'd been prior reports by other people in the neighborhood, but this charge of criminal trespass and loitering and prowling is specific to the address at 1486 Oak Ridge Street, and he was arrested.
Okay. Ms. Bader?
Yes, Judge. Mr. Skelton is 33 years old. He does have ties to the community. He's lived in Georgia his whole life. His family and friends live here. He does lawn work for work. He doesn't have any failures to appear in the last 2 years. And we also have no problem with him staying away from the incident location. Today we'll be asking for a signature bond as these are nonviolent charges. Thank you.
All right, defendant will receive $1,000 surety bond, 500 each count. He's to stay away from that address on, I think it's Oak Ridge. And he's to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition. All right, I believe the entire calendar is concluded now that we have the announcements on those other two positions. Ms. Bridgewater, will you please review the calendar for me?
Yes, Your Honor. Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is going to be January the 30th. Position number 1 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $2,000 good bond. Position 2 is reset further notice with a $4,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 3 is going to the SAP calendar, although they have a $3,500 SOB through the jail. Position 4, reset further notice, is a $4,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 5 is reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 6 is reset further notice with a $10,000 SOB through the jail. 7, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 8 is going to the SAP calendar with a $2,500 good bond. 9, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. 10 is reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial.
What was that level?
That was it was no cosigner. Let me look on the bond. Can I come back with you with that level in just a minute? But however, there was no cosigner on that case.
Correct.
11 is reset further notice with a total $5,000 SOB through pretrial. 12 is reset further notice with a $5,000 total SOB through pretrial. 13 is being medically reset till tomorrow. 14 is going to the SAP calendar with a $2,500 good bond. 15 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. 16 is reset further notice with a total $3,500 SOB through pretrial. 17 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. 18, SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. 19, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through the jail. Position 20 is being reset till tomorrow, and it's a medical reset. Add-on number 1 is reset further notice with a total $6,000 SOB through the jail. And add-on 2 is reset to the SAP calendar with a total $1,000 good bond. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
Little was level 1.
Thank you.
Oh, you answered it for him, Judge.
I did.
Thank you.
All
All
right.
right. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
I don't think so. Hearing none, will be in recess until tomorrow's SCA calendar. Take care.